What's going on, everyone? I am just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about some Norwegian traditions and customs. So, today, I want to take a look at this Reddit discussion where somebody asked, what's a small but meaningful Norwegian tradition that you follow? And a ton of Norwegians have answered this question. So it says, what's one Norwegian tradition or custom that you think is underrated or misunderstood by foreigners, but still holds great significance for locals? How do you keep it alive? So, here in the United States, we don't know what life is like in Norway. So, today, I thought it'd be cool to check this out and see what Norwegians have said about this. So, starting with this Norwegian, Spansley, says that we trust each other. Oh, wow. So, that's just a normal part of Norwegian life. That's a normal custom. It's funny because that sounds like that should be the baseline for like a normal successful society or a country, but I gotta say, here in the United States, we do not really trust each other that much. So this is actually a good one. It says, I trust my neighbors, my friends, and colleagues to do their best. I mean, in the United States, you trust your family. You want to trust your friends. Yeah, for sure. Your close friends. Your colleagues, I guess. Although, even that is starting to be like, unfortunately, in the United States, we have a culture of everyone is kind of out for themselves. You're kind of taught here to be a bit selfish, to do what's best for you. So that makes it hard to trust other people and know what they're really motivated by. So this is a big difference, actually. So in Norway, I trust my neighbors, my friends, my colleagues. Do you trust strangers? Because in the U.S., no. I mean, you trust your family and friends, but never strangers, really. Uh, they pay their taxes, they don't cut corners, they expect the same from me. It's a very important part of our society, and we depend on it. That's amazing. Um, because I've seen like some things on the internet in Norway, like you can leave your baby like outside and not worry, or you can like leave your wallet or sometimes you guys have like places where you can pay but nobody's looking. Like nobody's working at the store. You just pay. It's like they just trust that you're going to pay for whatever it is. No one is there to watch you. Is that true? Is that, I mean, this is the only way that that is possible. That is trust. That's all so weird to me, but the fact that this is like a normal Norwegian custom, that's amazing. Like it makes it sound like an amazing place. Like this is my favorite thing about Norway and being Norwegian. I mean, yeah, I mean a lot of Americans, I mean on the surface level it's like there's a lot of crime here. People seem to be trying to, like I said, they're out for themselves, and just knowing that makes can make things uncomfortable, and like we don't want to trust each other, and it's not good. Um, maybe like the best thing you can say about it is it creates competition here, where competition can kind of be good for motivating you and creating things and stuff like that. But we've lost the trust. This is getting a little philosophical. That's so huge. Like just being able to trust people. And I know that's very broad, but in many senses, we aren't very trusting here. Hmm. Okay, so in Norway, tradition or custom is to talk to everyone by their first name. Everyone? It makes everyone more equal in some regards. Yeah, absolutely. We everyone by their first name? I'm thinking of like school, like the teacher you would call like Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Smith. You would never call them by their first name. There's quite a few things in American culture where, out of respect, you don't call them by their first name. Like even at work, like sometime, like at a college or something, you'd call someone like, "Oh, Professor McConnell," or like Dr. Johansson. Yeah, the doctor you would never really call by their first name. It's like Dr. Smith or something. So how true is this in Norway that you talk to everyone by their first name? Is that really everyone? Seriously, this is something I've viewed with massive admiration, especially as someone who has lived in the United States. Teachers, customers, all have to be Mr. or Mrs. Yes, exactly. And there seemed to be an intentional effort to uphold a hierarchy where we don't view each other as equals. Yes, that's the point. Like Mr., Mrs., Professor, Doctor, all these titles. It's because people want to feel important, like they're better. And in the US, I've never really thought of that as being weird. I've never thought of that as being odd. Because here, that's how we do things. That's how you grow up. You spend your whole life starting from a child. You do that. That's what you call people, like in that way, with respect. But it definitely emphasizes that we are not equal. So in Norway, you talk to everyone by their first name, it makes more equal. That would almost be like weird. That's so different that like that would feel weird for us to do. Although I think it's better that like that would be better, I think. Luckily, I had a boss who let me call them by their first name. Getting to Norway, getting into the workforce, addressing everyone equally has been refreshing. You can call your boss by their first name. Wow. I did not know about this. It's interesting because it gives me a new perspective on the United States, on like American culture. There's stuff we don't even think about that's kind of weird here. This is one of them. You guys have more trust as a custom in Norway, and you are more equal, or you call each other by your first names. Interesting. What's another Norwegian tradition or custom? If you lose your glove, or any other clothing garment for that matter, on the street, someone will pick it up and place it on a nearby stick or fence post? Is that a thing? That's kind of nice. This is again sort of the trust thing in Norway, but in the United States, if you lost, if you lost clothing and it's valuable, it just gets stolen or taken or probably thrown away or probably stepped on or kicked or not. We don't have any like protocol for what to do. Even cuz there's Americans who are like polite and want to be helpful. There are people here who want to help as well. We're not all jerks, but if somebody lost their glove, like there's no custom of what to do to help. Whereas in Norway, you all understand like, okay, let's put it on something nearby. In the US, if it's not exactly where they left it, they're go- you're going to think it was stolen, even if it's like a few steps away, hanging on a post. That would be confusing here. I wouldn't even look. It's easier to find. It won't get ruined on the ground. That's true. This is very polite. This is very nice. And people taking off their outdoor shoes inside people's homes. Oh, this is okay. This is a different one. People take off their shoes inside people's homes, even when it's dry outside. So in Norway, you always take off your shoes when you go in someone's home. I agree with this. I this this can vary in the United States depending on the family, depending on people's preferences. There's a lot of Americans who will walk around their house in their shoes. That is somewhat normal here. I think it's weird. I actually find myself agreeing with all this Norwegian stuff. With funny enough, like I've never really thought about that we're a bit odd, but this makes it very clear like the way you guys do things in Norway, we could really like learn something from this. And yeah, we should not be walking around house. I think that's weird. There's Americans who think it's normal to make your house dirty. Okay. Next, a Norwegian tradition or custom, dugnad, frivillighet, volunteer work. I think foreigners underestimate how much Norwegian society is run by volunteer work. Really? Volunteer work. People who maintain all the DNT hiking here. What is a DNT hiking trail? Some kind of outdoor trail, like around your town or city, or is this like a government thing? Anyway, there's people who volunteer to maintain it, like clear trash, or maybe you guys don't even throw trash on the ground. A big part of the Red Cross emergency crew, if someone has injured themselves in the mountains or if they get lost, is volunteers. Okay, it's funny. The first thing I think in the United States, I wouldn't really want a volunteer for something like that. I want a professional. I want someone I can trust. Maybe that's what it is. It's the trust. In Norway, you all trust each other. So you're okay with these people, these volunteers, being in charge of cleaning, being in charge of helping people who are lost or injured. That's a big responsibility. Like, I wouldn't want just any random American doing that. And I think that has to do with trust, or I don't even think Americans would really volunteer for that stuff. We're not really in, like, again, we're very much a bit selfish, I guess. Whereas in Norway, is volunteering more expected? Again, I think that's a good thing to teach your kids, and it's good in to be in a society where volunteering is expected and normal. Because in the US, it's totally not expected. So volunteering, doing stuff for free, we're like, oh my God, we're getting taken advantage of. Like for free? Free? I gotta get paid. What? That's our attitude. Which I know is like very selfish. I understand that, but it's kind of what we're taught. The right to roam. Allemansretten. I've heard this term before, the right to roam. It's no such thing as a private forest, a private mountain or trail. Man, this is incredibly different from the United States because we're all of these Norwegian customs and traditions are just showing me that American society is based on like selfishness. Because in the US, everybody is obsessed with their property. That's my property. That's my territory. Don't trespass. People get very mad. And people have guns, so it's kind of scary. You don't trespass in the US. You have to figure out who owns what, and it's very annoying. And we're not very in touch with nature as it is, and then we don't have this right to roam, which makes it even worse. So it's just stress that we do to ourselves, and it's a bad attitude. In Norway, you can just go anywhere. As long as you behave yourself, you're free to camp anywhere. Oh my, we don't even camp. So this isn't even like, we wouldn't even take advantage of this. It's truly amazing. Unfortunately, this right is under attack. Is that true? Wow, that's too bad. Why? In the US, this would never work because people would take advantage of it. People would go too far. They would try to live in your property, you know? In Norway, you have trust. You have more respect. Like, okay, someone will camp in this part of your trail or your farm or and then they're going to go the next day. In the US, people are weird. People will take advantage of kindness, unfortunately. That's a big thing. So we can't afford to be kind with everything. That's kind of the honest truth. Yeah. The Norwegian birthday song. I think I did a video on that a while ago. You guys have like a dance or I forgot about that. Not talking to strangers. That's a very Norwegian thing. In the US, you just have to expect somebody's going to bother you. Someone's going to say something. And it can be nice. Like, it's like we're all friends, except sometimes you don't want to be bothered. And it's very surface level. And people sometimes want things. So it can be annoying, and I guess you just get used to it. In Norway, I kind of like that there's no expectation to talk to strangers. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Tacos on Friday? We have like Taco Tuesday. Respecting people's space and time. People are often very late in the US. There's even something called being fashionably late, being late on purpose, like it's kind of expected, or people like calculate that in, like okay, 6 o'clock, we're meeting at 6, and then everyone knows okay, it's 6:05, 6:10. If you show up on time, you're kind of a loser. You're too early. Like, don't you have anything to do? Showing up on time? Huh, so lame. That's like the attitude we have. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I like this, respecting people's time and space, and I like that. I liked all of this. There are so many things Norwegians do, like in your culture, your customs, normal things in Norway that should be normal here, I think, but are not. So that's troubling to me. But it's cool to see this and see the differences. We could be doing a lot of stuff different. That's what I learned. Wow. So, anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these Norwegian traditions or customs, or especially if you're Norwegian. That'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.